Here on BFA Sports for the last game of this three-game tourney. At the plate, rather at the mound, was Jake Kaplan. And then at the plate is Sergio Draws. As we finally get two teams with different colored jerseys. It's a blessing on a beautiful Sunday as this one is skied into left field and at the wall, and it's going to bounce. And we're going to get a stand-up double from Sergio Draws from the heavy hitters. That's a great way to start off this baseball game with a double from the second baseman himself. Walking over to his head coach, giving him the extending pad or finger pad when diving at those bases. The heavy hitters come in here as the away team, the visitors. Now we have Evan Biddle from Salem High School, Frostburg University. He committed to. This one's going to be hitting the same area to that left field, having to come up for it to make a play. Is this going to be in time at the plate? No, it's not. But also a double is going to be called. A double will be made at second base with Biddle. So Evan Biddle with an RBI double. As he got the call from his head coach to keep going, now it brings up Johan Feliz. Johan Feliz, the center fielder in today's game, uncommitted, going to Vineland High School with a GPA of 3.7. This one's all-speed pitch to the outside, goes for a ball. This one goes for a strike. So score is 1-0 in favor of the heavy hitters after that RBI double by Biddle, as he got the stand-up double back in the ball column. Count is now 1-2. This one goes for a ball going to the inside of Feliz's thigh. Looking back at Biddle, at second check swing, says they go for the strike. And that will do it as Kaplan gets his first K of the afternoon. Last game of the triple header. Official first pitch a few moments before the time that this game was originally supposed to start. It's supposed to start originally at 2:30, but we start a little bit ahead of time, getting the okay from both coaches to start earlier. Nick Pizzenni, uncommitted out of Pennsville High School with a GPA of 3.6, 6'2", 165. Kaplan has this one wheeling and swung on and missed was Pizzenni, catcher for this heavy hitter squad. And what better name to have when your leadoff guy and your first guy leadoff guy and the second guy get a double and another one gets an RBI double. So now we're on the cleanup hitter, Nick Pizzenni. Let's see if he can lay this one in fair play, as this one gets away from the catcher and allows Biddle to advance to third base. So a little too strong for Soriano for Philly U. Wyatt, who had dropped that very first game Rather, they won that game, Fleming. As this one's going to be a walk for the cleanup hitter in Pizzenni. And now brings up David Rodriguez, first baseman. This one to the outside. Call for a ball. David Rodriguez out of Millville. It's going to Mercy College, committed, 6'3", 215. And this one's going to go down the first base line, but foul. Count now 1-1 with one man away and a runner on third. The runner from first going to second. Can he be in time? No, but they're going to go right back to home and they're going to tag him out for the out. And that's going to be the second out of the inning. As we're going to see here, great heads-up play by the shortstop and Kress. Kress says, I'm not going to go to the guy behind me. I'd rather prevent the guy from third going to home plate to make sure this is still a 1-0 ball game. So 2 men away with a runner in scoring position, and now this one for Kaplan just hurts him, but probably not as much as it just hurt Rodriguez as he was hit by a pitch. So hit by a pitch was Rodriguez, who takes that waddle over the first base. So now runners at first and second. Now brings up Matt Meiswinkle. Uncommitted at the moment. Third baseman for this squad. This one goes past the second baseman. Could this be a runner coming all the way home? The throw to home, but can't get a glove on it from the catcher, Soriano. And we'll still have runners on first and second, as we'll have our second sliding runner coming at home. So here you see the right fielder trying to throw this one all the way home, and Feliciani, and then not able to get a glove on it, unfortunately, with Soriano to just get the third and final out to prevent that second run. So now it's a 2-0 ball game in favor of the heavy hitters. So it's going to be an RBI single from Meiswinkle. And now brings up Caden Mulheron. So Mulheron at the plate. Right fielder for this heavy hitter squad. This one he's going fishing and swings and misses, but not before his team gets 2 runs in. So we have 3 hits and 2 walks, no errors here at the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first for Philly U to get on the board. We'll be right back here on BFA Sports. The other Mulheron on the squad, Cole Mulheron, getting the start from the pitcher's position. 5'9", 150, wearing the number 1, chopping it up with his teammates before he throws his first pitch of this ball game. So the heavy hitters are able to drive in 2 runs with 2 hits, no errors, and 1 walk. RBI double by Evan Biddle, and then RBI single by Matt Meiswinkle. So to get our day started for Philly U, rather this game started, will be Hoffman, as this one's going to be hit but fouled. Pete Hoffman. Is going to be called for a strikeout on this one. So Mulheron doing work already, striking out his first batter faced. So now that brings up Soriano, who on the defensive end wasn't able to bring in that catch as he swings on and missed this one. He wasn't able to make the catch to prevent the score from going up 2-0. If he catches the ball, he could tag out. As you can see, he goes to Neshami, still uncommitted with 3.8 GPA. Good for him. Count is now 0-1 with a 1 man away. Here at the bottom of the first, he sees this one, swings on and misses it, and that'll be the 3rd and final strike for him. So that's 2 back-to-back Ks for Mulheron. Great way for him to start this game out after unfortunately losing at the Lancaster Coliseum. Him and his team fell in that one, so they're now here trying to pick up a W and go home happy. This one's going to be called inside for a strike. Showing great precision and control on all of his balls right now. Back-to-back strikes. Count is now 0-2 with 2 men away. And can he get his 3rd K of the afternoon early in this ball game? This one's going to be hit, but goes foul. As you can see Mullen, he kind of leaned for that one. Got the fat part of the bat, but he was definitely leaning and reaching for it instead of letting it come to him where it's comfortable for him to keep that base and give solid contact and drive it. As this one's going to be close and gives the graze off of his jersey of Mullen. The 0-2 pitch to the outside, just escaping that outside corner. Mullen, the left fielder for this Philly U squad, as this one's going to be hit but fouled. As you can see, the guy with the Philadelphia Eagles shirt on, those guys will be playing real shortly. 4:25 kickoff for that game against Arizona, as this one's going to be skied into left field, and this could be the 3rd and final out with a glove getting under it, and it will. The left fielder for the heavy hitters in Louis Rivera will collect the 3rd and final out, and we'll go to the top of the 2nd inning. 1-0 ball game. Rather, 2-0 ball game. Heavy hitters hold this one. We'll go into the top of the 2nd. You're listening to me, Lloyd Wilson, here on BFA Sports.
On that line drive out to the left. Cooper Bryan, 97.7 on that liner. For Cooper Bryan, he might turn 3. He is turning 3. Gonna hit the cut it short, and he doesn't need to slide.
Oh, rocket.
Wow.
What an outstanding catch. This is Fitzpatrick, and I call him the freak because this kid is an absolute specimen of an athlete.
Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson, as the heavy hitters are back up to bat. And to start off will be the man that caught it to end the last inning, Luis Rivera, getting his first debut here at the top of the second. Luis Rivera going to Vineland, uncommitted, 5'11", 170, wearing one of my favorite numbers in number 7. This one is an off-speed pitch that hung up there for a while. Umpires are going to still say it's a ball. I mean, if I were to say what's my favorite number, I would still say 13, as this one's called for a strike. There's something about that number. It's just different. It's a sexy-looking number. This one's going to be skied into center field, as this one's going to be able to fall in for a base hit, and it will be a single for Luis Rivera. So not was he not only able to get the last out when on defense, but he showed us what he can do on offense as well, getting the single in his first debut. So now brings up Anthony Racotes from the shortstop position. This one able to dribble out to third base, going over and making the long throw from third to first, is in time for the first out. Was wondering why he may not have went the short way for possibly the double play, Kress. But he'll go the long way and go to the first baseman in Henry, who was pitching earlier in today's ball game. So now we'll bring up the pitcher, Caden Mulheron. So he's showing us what he can do when throwing the ball. Let's see what he can do when it comes to hitting it, as this one's going to be called for a strike. Here in the top of the second. 1 man away. This one swung on and missed. Runner in scoring position at second. That's Rivera. This one's going to be fouled, tipped. Jake Capon. Right-hand pitcher. This one, they say it won't be inside. They say it'll go a little bit farther down than what it should be. The count is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, man on second. This one away, but they say it's going to be in for a strike. So with the 2-2 count, got caught looking, and it's going to be a K for the pitcher himself. So he was able to deliver Ks, but this one he is received one from Kaplan. So now we go back to the top of the lineup. This one's going to be right past the pitcher, and Mulheron, brother Kaplan, and thrown over to first to give it the third and final out to Henry, and that will do it. But we still have a 2-0 lead for the heavy hitters. We'll be right back here on BFA Sports. Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. Third game of the triple header as LaSalle College, as you can see, Nathan Kress goes to uncommitted, GPA of 3.9. Excellent student. This one's going to be hit out to left field, and it will be foul. Goes in the direction of over the heavy hitter's dugout. This one is low and downstairs as the count is now 1-1. Kress at shortstop on the defensive end went the long way instead of getting the put at second, rather than even the double play. It turned to work in his favor. This one hit out to left. It's still fair ball. Left fielder has to come over and get it, but it's going to be a stand-up double if the throw is not in time and not even having to slide as he takes the bow to his dugout. And Nathan Kress gets on the board, gets the first hit for Phil U. Here in the top of the second. Right at the bottom. Bottom of the second. Here is Andrew Armstrong, second baseman, as it will be a quick mound visit from the catcher and the pitcher and Mulheron and Pizzenni. Ball fell right in front of the left fielder on Louis Rivera. And this one was on the skinny line of the third baseline, as this one's going to be hit but gets fouled. This one way outside for a ball. Runner in scoring position with Kress here in the bottom of the second. Runner going. That's Kress. He's going to dive. He's going to slide. Will he be safe? Umpire says he is. Whole bunch of dust in his face. And as we mentioned earlier, if you don't get your uniform dirty, they say you haven't really played. And he's able to slide in there and get a stolen base. So now with a runner on third and a runner at the plate, rather a base runner on third and a batter at the plate. This one inside, but hit out to center field. We'll see who gets this one. It's going to be Ruiz. Is going to be able to dive for another? No. Ruiz has to come over and make over for the center fielder's mistake, but it's going to bring in a runner, and that's going to be Kress. So this is going to be an RBI double, and it's a great one by Andrew Armstrong as he sent this one flying. Center fielder was trying to give chase to track down this ball, dove for it in Johan Feliz, but then it caused left fielder Louis Rivera to come up and pick up the trash. Still leads to a run, so now the deficit is cut down to just one run. Heavy hitter still with the lead. So this now brings Brian Henry, who was pitching earlier in this game, as this one's going to be way upstairs, and it's going to bring Armstrong now to third base after the wild pitch will be assessed to Mulheron. So Mulheron now with a wild pitch against him, as this one goes downstairs and a little bit out of control, as he started to have good control with the ball in the beginning of this game. Starting to get away from him just a little bit. Now has two wild pitches on the day. This one inside for a strike. Count is now 2-1. So now Henry waiting this 2-1 pitch. Armstrong with the RBI double. And this one's going to be another wild pitch and will cost him as the catcher was with no urgency in Pizzenni. Didn't want to look back or couldn't look back in enough time. And now it's a tie ball game at 2 apiece. So now the third wild pitch for Mulheron has now allowed a run to come in. This one softly hit out to center field and make it the catch for the first out. Will be Johan Feliz. He got an easy one this time. As the first one that he got, he had to dive for it with the sun in his eye. The bottom of the second. Armstrong with the RBI double. Crest with the double. And now we'll bring up Burkhead. Luke Burkhead now coming to the plate. This won't be foul. So the two wild pitches, one allowed a runner to advance, and that was Armstrong, who advanced from second to third. And then with the other wild pitch, it allowed Armstrong to come home to tie this game up at 2 apiece. The 2-1 pitch awaiting from Burkhead. This one will be called for a ball, so now it's 3-1. Hitter's pitch coming up now for Burkhead. He hits this one, but it's going to be skied and goes behind as this one plops down the hill. So now the count is full at 3-2, and we'll see what approach Mulheron wants to take. Does he send him fishing or does he finish him off? This one a little bit out of his control, but had his man swinging gracefully. As you can see at the end of that pitch, he kind of lost his footing. But either way, he was able to get the K and deceive Burkhead for just enough time. Get his third K of the afternoon. So now they'll bring up the right fielder in Feliciani. Gavin Feliciani. He's going to hit this one, get solid contact. This one goes out, softly hit to first base. But then the second baseman comes over to collect the third and final out. That'll do it from the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third. Flip-flop sides as the heavy hitters come back out to bat. You're listening to BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson.
Make this your best season ever with Gamechanger's amazing new features. Like automatically compiled hit clips that load directly into your player profile, along with your stats. Watch, download, and share with fans and recruiters. Track pitch type and pitch velocity, and display it in the live stream. And watch it all, live, on the web. Check out these amazing new features you can start using now in the app, or learn more at gc.com.
Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson, as this one's going to be foul tipped as the heavy hitters are back up at the plate. Evan Biddle at the top of the third, trying to get a little, maybe even more than what he got last time in his last debut. He got an RBI double. What more can you ask for? But first, he has to get on base unless he wants to hit a homer himself. This one off speed pitch took its way, hanging from the top to drop in, but umpire says it didn't drop. So count is now 1-1. Evan Biddle listed as the extra hitter in today's tournament, as this one is foul tipped. So if you're just tuning in and you haven't been with us all day, this tournament is an interesting one. You can have more than one extra hitter. As you can see, Biddle going to Frostburg University, 6'2", 200. Congratulations to him, as this one swung on and missed. And they're going to say still foul, as the catcher was not able to have that in his glove, but still swinging. Count is now 1-2. So with today's rules is by a time limit, an hour and 50 minutes, as this one's going to be skied into center field. Coming up to make the play with the sun in his eye, but getting a glove under it is a great job. Philly U's very own center fielder, Hoffman. Nate Hoffman on the first out. But this tournament rules, it is timed. It's usually not how baseball works, but it will today. This one to the outside, as this one hits the dirt first and bounces up. So if this game were to be tied, it would be decided by, obviously, runs batted in, or it would also be determined by the team's ranking, as this one has solid contact, goes to the third baseman, throws over first. Is it in time? No, got away from him, and it will be listed as an E5. So the third baseman in Burkhead wasn't able to throw it over to the first baseman in Henry. He juggled it for a brief moment already when he had it hit him in the chest, but couldn't get enough control to have this one thrown over cleanly over the first. So it will be a single for Johan Feliz, as now Nick Pizzenni up to the plate through the E5. Pizzenni in his first debut walked. We'll see what he can do here at the top of the third, as this one is going to be a stolen base, as the throw from Serrano couldn't get there in time to the second baseman in Armstrong. The shortstop was there trying to make up the ground and crest, the nearest one to the plate. But Armstrong not able to get there in time, so it will be a stolen base for Feliz, who is now in scoring position. Nick Pizzenni awaiting. This one got solid contact, goes right back to the second baseman rather than the shortstop. This one a little bit too high for Henry, but Henry has to go up in the sky to get it, and he's able to get it to grab the second out of the inning after tagging him and not even tagging the bag and Pizzenni. So that'll be listed as a ground out. And now up to the plate is David Rodriguez. Runner on third, even with that throw over the first from the shortstop, still had a runner advance. And Johan Feliz is stranded at third. If you're just tuning in, ball game is tied at 2 apiece. 2 men away with a runner on third. Here's David Rodriguez. He's going to swing. Solid contact, but not enough to get past the second baseman, who throws it over to Henry to collect the third and final out. So that will do it for the top of third, as we know now go to the bottom of it. So with the bottom of the third. Listen to BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. We'll be right back. Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson, as we get the bottom of the third started in that last inning. No runs, no hit. Rather, no runs, one hit, one error, and one man left on base. Here we are now at the bottom of the third. Top of the third, rather. Bottom third. Goodness, messing myself up. As this one's skied and fouled. 0-2 is the count. This one, a good off-speed pitch that finds its way inside and has his man looking. And Kaplan, the pitcher of his very own, getting done with his own kind of work. So he goes down with a K. And now for Mulheron, he gets his fourth K of the day. So now we go back to the top of the lineup here at the bottom of the third, and Hoffman. This one to the outside, call for a ball. Went to Holy Ghost prep. This one's skied, fouled. Count is now 0-2. Pete Hoffman. In his last AB, struck out. Was one of the very first strikeout. Well, not even very. He was the very first strikeout victim for Mulheron, as he was the first to bat for this squad. As Mulheron started off hot, 2 back-to-back Ks. Here's the 2-1. And now here comes the 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. This one hit fair to first base, and run it over to the first base himself is the baseman in David Rodriguez. Now collect the first out. Rather, the second out. So with a K and now a ground out, here comes the catcher in Soriano, who was the second victim of that strikeout from Mulheron. And this one goes to the same direction, goes to the second baseman, throws over to the first, to Rodriguez to collect the third and final out. 1, 2, 3 go down the Philly U. the heavy hitters are coming up back to bat. So we have no runs, no hits, no errors, and no men left on base. We go to the top of the fourth. Listen to me, Lloyd Wilson, here on BFA Sports.
On that line drive out to the left. Cooper Bryant, 97.7 on that liner. For Cooper Bryant, he might turn 3. He is turning 3. Gonna hit the cutter short, and he doesn't need to slide.
Oh, rocket.
Wow.
What an outstanding catch. This is Fitzpatrick, and I call him the freak because this kid is an absolute specimen of an athlete.
Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. We're at the top of the fourth inning as we have Meiswinkle. And he gets this one started by finding the soft spot in that zone right past the first baseman and right in between the zone between the first baseman and the right fielder. So it'll be a single for Meiswinkle on the first pitch he gets from Kaplan. Score still tied at 2 apiece. This one with the bunt attempt is going to go foul. Count is 0-1. So now brings up Caden Mulheron, one of the other Mulheron brothers. Mulheron in his last AB back in the first struck out. This one hit towards the first base line, goes foul, so now the count is 0-2. This one hit to second base, thrown over to first to Henry to collect the first out. And wondering why he didn't go for the double play opportunity and throwing it over to the second baseman in Armstrong, but hopefully it doesn't come to bite him in the back, as now there is a runner in scoring position. So now brings up the left fielder and Lou Rivera. This one inside for a strike. Count is now 1-1 with 1 man away. Runner on second. Lou Rivera singled in his last AB in the second. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it goes to the outside for a ball. Count is now 1-2. Great patience that time. Top of the fourth, score tied at 2 apiece. This one swung on and missed. And he will go down swinging. Actually, he has one more. Off-speed pitch, just went a little bit too high. Kaplan looking, but focuses on Rivera, who swung on and missed this one. So in his last debut, he was able to get a single. This one he goes down swinging. So now brings up the shortstop in Anthony Rocotes. Pardon me. This one he has to lean back for as a little bit too high upstairs. Give him a, this is around the chin area out of Vineland High School. 3.8 GPA, 5'9", 160. This one to the outside for a ball. Count is now 2-0. So Kaplan has given up 6 hits so far in this game with 2 walks. Rather, 6 hits, 1 walk, and 2 runs. This one's going to be skied into right field, and this could be the third and final out. And getting under it is the right fielder. For Philly will be Feliciani to collect the third and final out. So with that, we go to the bottom of the fourth with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson, as Lucas Mullen at the plate here in the bottom of the fourth. He lined out in his last debut. Here he is now with a fly ball that goes to the same spot, rather the opposite side of where he went, but the second baseman goes all the way over to get it right in front of the right fielder. So Sergio Draws goes over to make the catch. Now brings up the shortstop in Cress. He's had an interesting day so far at LaSalle College, as this one's going to get away from him, but it's going to go foul. Goes around the gate. His last AB, he doubled. His double set up the RBI double from Armstrong. Which then allowed Crest to come home later within that inning. Off of the wild pitch that Mulheron had threw. This one, great solid contact, almost hit the referee, and this one's going to go right up the gap and up to the center fielder, and it's going to be in for a base hit. Coming up to get it was Johan Feliz. So he got a double in his last AB and now records a single here in the bottom of the fourth. Having a solid day for him so far in this game. Brings up Armstrong now. Also having a solid day, RBI double. Who came off of the double from Crest. Goes up top. This one's a ball, but then this one is, are they going to say he's safe? And they will say he's safe, as it got a piece of the lip of the grass as it bounced up in front of the second baseman. Draws had to double clutch that one. Still grabbed it and make sure it didn't go for extra bases. So stolen base will go to Crest as Armstrong is still at the plate doing work. 2-0 is the count, one man away with a man in scoring position at second. This one got great contact, goes sky high to right field, and in foul territory, the first baseman coming over to make the play is Rodriguez. Rather, they say he will not. Wish we could have saw a replay on that one, but the count is now 2-1. 1 man away. Looks back at Crest. Mullen focuses, deals, and goes low for another ball. Count is now 3-1. Armstrong hanging in there strong, no pun intended. Mulheron. This one hit but foul. This one dribbles out to shortstop. A long throw over to first as he's able to get the tag. They say he will be tagged at first, so now it's 2 men away. Let's look at this replay here. Ooh. He must have got him when he got the ball. As soon as he got the ball with the extension, he must have tagged him. Umpire having good eyes. Make sure to see that one, as this one's going to be called for a strike. This one high in the air. Could be the third and final out for the first baseman, and it will be for the heavy hitters. Coming over to make the catch was Rodriguez. So that will do it for the bottom of the fourth. So we have no hits, rather 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and 1 man left on base. As we know, go to the top of the fifth. You listen to me, Lloyd Wilson, here on BFA Sports.
Make this your best season ever with Gamechanger's amazing new features. Like automatically compiled hit clips that load directly into your player profile, along with your stats. Watch, download, and share with fans and recruiters. Track pitch type and pitch velocity, and display it in the live stream. And watch it all live on the web. Check out these amazing new features you can start using now in the app, or learn more at gc.com.
Back here on BFA Sports, as the first hit for the heavy hitters is a big one from their own pitcher in Cole Mulheron, who's able to drill this one right up the center field line, or rather past the center field, and allows a single. So he gets the single here in the top of the fifth. And now we go back to the top of the lineup, and Sergio draws. So Mulheron with a big hit, getting past the pitcher, the second baseman, all the way into center field territory. The bunt attempt, it's a soft one. They're going to go the short way and get the putt out at first, and it's going to be in time for the first out. So with a bunt that was grounded by the third baseman, throwing it over to first, it allows the pitcher in Cole Mulheron to be on second base with one man away. As this one gets away from Biddle, and this is going to allow Mulheron to slide in the third. Umpire says he's safe. So Mulheron, rather with a pinch runner, will get a license. So Draws is going to be running. So once Draws got grounded out, he replaced his own pitcher who got the double, rather the single. And Draws went out there to replace him as the pinch runner. Evan Biddle still at the plate. This one going to be hit, but foul. Two one is the count. One man away and a man on third, and it is the pinch runner in Draws. This one gets away from the catcher, and it's going to be a wild pitch. It's going to break our tie with Draws running in to take the lead for the heavy hitters, and now makes this a 3-2 ball game. So the first wild pitch for Kaplan is a wild one that leads to a run to break our tie, and now the heavy hitters have a 3-2 lead. Evan Biddle, this one foul, tipped. Count is now full with one man away. And a runner already came home through to the wild pitch. Just one, another wild one that goes straight to the dirt. And it's going to be a walk for Biddle. Biddle so far with a solid game. Had an RBI double for his first AB. And then we got the walk just now, showing great patience as we now have a mound visit, and it will be a pitching change. As we can see some smiles on the mound as they're having some fun in the sun. On deck next is Johan Feliz, who struck out in his first AB, but then was able to get a single in his second one, but also reached second base due to an E5. Johan Feliz up to bat. This one a little bit too high. Runner on first. That's Biddle. This one right in the wheelhouse, and it's called for a strike. Count is now 1-1. Checking over at Biddle, but he's going to be just fine. This one hit solid out to left field, but just not enough to get past the left fielder and Mullen. And it's going to send Biddle right back to first. And now brings up Nick Pizzenni. So now 2 men away with a runner on first. And now here's Nick Pizzenni, who grounded out in his last AB. Call for a ball. This one going to be chop foul, as we saw this ball just go right over the window from us. As we're not only trying to dodge balls here, we're trying to dodge the Yellow Jacket bees that keep coming in and out of the broadcast booth, as they're going to check at first for Biddle. Nothing there. Swung on and missed, trying to steal a base, and sliding in there is Biddle. Is he in time? He is. So Biddle able to get a stolen base, have a runner in scoring position, still 2 men away. And the count not in favor of Johan Feliz. Count is 0-2. This one to the outside. Hopefully you can start showing some patience. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, caught him looking, and he's going to go down watching that ball hit the strike zone. As you can see here, it's just going to be a solid pitch, having his eyes on Biddle, but Kaplan able to stay square, have this ball fall just into the striker zone, and it's a great way to get out of this inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th now, as we have no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Go to the bottom of the 5th as the heavy hitters take this lead 3-2. You're listening to BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. We start off the bottom of the 5th inning with Burkhead coming up to the plate. Great open shot that time. Showing you the wide range of life and greens around this area. Beautiful area. A lot of land and it's very spaced out. Here in Elizabethtown, PA. For the DreamStream baseball series. As this one's going to be a lofty one, but it goes left and foul. As you can see, that one on the hill. In a few months, wouldn't be surprised to see some kids sliding down those hills if the snow gets out of here. Count is now 1-2. One-two count for Burkhead, who struck out in his last AB. This one is going to be lofted in the air to the first baseman, and some miscommunication between the second baseman and first baseman, wondering who was going to catch it, and Sergio Draws and Rodriguez. This miscommunications could have been an easy fly ball caught by either one of them in foul territory. Count is still 1-2. This one swung on and missed, and missing all of it was Burkhead. This one hit out to the second baseman, gets it in his glove, throws over to Rodriguez to get the first out. So that time those two were on the connection, and Sergio and Rodriguez. As before, it was in foul territory and no one elected to go get it. So now here comes Gavin Feliciani, who flew out in his last AB back in the second inning. This one finds his way inside the zone. Nice strong pitch that time by Mulheron. He's still dealing. Mulheron has allowed 2 hits and 2 runs to this squad. This one's going to be a chopper that finds his way to the second baseman, Sergio, once again, but throws it over to Rodriguez. Back-to-back groundouts going to the same spot. And Sergio to Rodriguez to get the second out. So now here comes the pitcher in Capwan. He struck out in his last AB as Mulheron showed him a little bit of his own medicine. And now here he is once again. This one bounces off the dirt. Foul. Abington. You can see from J Capwan, 3.3 GPA, 5'10", 165. 1-0 pitch. This one finds its way inside with 2 men away. And rather for Mulheron, he has given up only 3 hits, not 2. He's given up 3 hits. 3 hits and 2 runs. This one lofted inside and has his man Capwan missing after the swing. So now we are now at 2 apiece. The 2-2 pitch. This one a little bit too high, so now the count becomes full. 3-2 count, 2 men away. Here is Mulheron trying to retire the side. This one swung on and foul going behind us, as that ball is definitely gone. Two back-to-back foul balls. Goes off the same direction, off the middle part of the bat. Three-two pitch. This one way up high, as it was a curveball that went over the head of Keplon. And it's going to be a walk for the other pitcher for Phil U. So now we go back to the top of the lineup, and Pete Hoffman struck out in his first AB, grounded out in his second. We'll see what he can do in his third here at the bottom of the fifth. This one to the inside of his knees, called for a ball. Runner going from first to third, rather from first to second, and we'll see if he's in time. And they say he's going to be safe. So stolen base from the pitcher in Keplon, trying to clean himself up. And that could have been the third and final out of this inning, as Phil U is just trying to get themselves in scoring position like they just did to threaten this lead from the heavy hitters. This one swung on and missed. And now in the hole is Pete Hoffman with the 1-2 count with two away, a runner on second. Feliciani, the pinch runner, as this one's going to be a fastball, call for a ball. Count is 2-2. So Keplon, who was able to get the steal from first to second, gets pitch ran for Feliciani. This one swung on and missed, and that will retire the side. And it is a good pitch for Mulheron, as he's able to now get his 5th K of the afternoon. So we have no runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We go now to the top of the 6th inning. Right back on BFA Sports after this.
On that line drive out to the left. Cooper Bryant, 97.7 on that liner. For Cooper Bryant, he might turn 3. He is turning 3. Gonna hit the cut it short. He doesn't need to slide.
Oh, rocket.
Wow.
What an outstanding catch. This is Fitzpatrick, and I call him the freak because this kid is an absolute specimen of an athlete.
Back here on BFA Sports as the heavy hitters hold the lead still 3-2, as we're now at the top of the 6th inning. Coming up to bat now is David Rodriguez. He was hit by a pitcher in his first AB and then grounded out in his second. He's already committed to Mercy College, 6'3", 215, solid size and frame. This one bounced off the dirt, Count is now 2-0. This one, solid contact, goes to left field, but just not enough to get over the left fielder and Feliciani, as he's able there to get a glove under it and get the first out. So now comes up Met Mileswinkle. Kaplan still in there pitching for Phil Yu. First pitch goes over his head and finds his way inside the zone in between defenders of second and center field. And it's going to get in for a base hit. So he singled in his last AB, and he singled in his very first one. So now he's 3-0 for the day. Now brings in Caden Mulheron. This one a little bit too high, go across his face. Counts 1-0. Here in the top of the sixth, Caden Mulheron struck out in his first AB, grounded out in his second. What does he do here? This one is skied, but foul. Rather travels down the line of his base running coach at third. You can see again the signals from him, as this one is going to be a fly ball that's in the second base's range, but then it goes to the right fielder, and having to travel all the way back, but not going to get there in time, unfortunately, was Mileswinkle. So that's going to be it for the top of the sixth. So we have no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base, as now we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Don't go anywhere. Listen to me, Lloyd Wilson, here on BFA Sports. Back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson, as we're now at the bottom of the 6th inning. Jay Soriano at the plate. Soriano grounded out in his last AB and went to the same side that he's standing on, went to that right side towards the first base. But the second baseman Draws came over to throw it over to Rodriguez. Let's see if he can put it on the opposite side. This one he has to lean back for. Count is 2-1. This one going to be called for a strike. Count is now 2-2. This one's going to be called for a walk. A little bit too high for the umpire's eye. And now Mullen will come up to bat as Soriano will be pinch ran for Hoffman. So now here comes Mullen. Still hitless in this one, 0 for 2. This one head out to the shortstop. A long throw from the shortstop over to Rodriguez, and they're going to get him in time. Great control that time by Anthony Ricautes to throw it over to Rodriguez to get the first out. So now here's Nathan Kress. Has had himself a solid day. 2-0 on it. This one's going to be called for a ball. He's actually the one that set up the first score of today's game as he got a double. Then set up Armstrong to get the RBI double. So already had a man in scoring position. Here he is again, trying to wheel and deal with the runner in scoring position right now on second, which is Hoffman. Hoffman, as you can see, whiffs on the plate. Doesn't throw. Rather, Mulheron. This one hit softly, and they're saying it's fair, so it's going to go down the third base line. But the umpire comes around and says finally that it is a foul ball. The count is now 2-1 with one man away and a runner in scoring position at second, which is Hoffman. Kress taking his time back to the plate, thinking of what strategy he could use to get this one in play. This one started to sail on the outside, but find its way inside to make this now a 1-2 count. The 1-2 pitch. This one skied in the air. A high flyer. Shortstop going over to go get it. He makes the catch. Hoffman stays at second to collect the second out. Anthony Ricautes goes over to make the second out. Hoffman doesn't move a muscle. And now we're 2 away with a runner in scoring position. Now here comes Andrew Armstrong. Swung on and missed, but foul. Looked like the ball may have been tipped for a brief moment. This one had good trajectory on it, but just a little bit too high from where Armstrong swung that one. If it maybe was a little bit lower, could have saw that one fly all the way past the wall. Count is 0-2. 2 men away, a runner in scoring position. This one hits the plate. Be called for a ball. The The 1-2 pitch. This one started to sail out of bounds. And it was a foul ball. The pitch was a solid one as it was starting to slide out and find its way back in. Hit the inside of the bat to the third base line as we have a pause in the action as Hoffman adjusting his gloves. The 1-2 pitch. This one in the dirt. Once again, 2s across the board, 2 outs. 2 ball, 2 strikes. Mulheron, as mentioned before, after his hot start with his first 2 strikeouts, he started to lose his control as this one grazes the shoulder blades of Armstrong. Mulheron started off strong, got his first 2 Ks after his first 2 batters in Hoffman and Soriano. We'll see what he does here as this one gets away from him once again. 3 straight balls to go to Armstrong, who takes his nice little stride over and hop on the bag to first. So now up to bat is Henry, who struggled so far in this game. Flew out in his last 2 ABs. He's 0 for 2 on the day as this one is low for a ball inside the dirt. 6'6", 240 frame. He was out here pitching earlier. Let's see what he can do at the plate in this game as this one was a fastball that goes upstairs. Call for a ball. Count is now 2-0. And if you're Mulheron, you just got to get yourself under control. You had such a hot start. You don't want to throw this game away and put runners in scoring position with 2 away especially. This one gets right past him and goes to the second baseman and goes for the putout, and that will do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. So we're right past Mulheron, the second baseman right there in draws to pick it up, and that will do it. So for this inning, we have no runs, no hits as well, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We now go to the top of the 7th inning. We'll be right back here on BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. Welcome back here to BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. We have a pitching change as Feliciani will get the call and Kaplan's day is done. So in 6 innings pitched, he had 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, as well as 8 hits. and allowed a wild pitch that came in for a run as the first batter coming up to do it for the heavy hitters will be Lou Rivera here in the top of the seventh. This one called for a ball. So the heavy hitters have the lead. 3-2 is your score. And this is their last chance to add some insurance runs before Philly U gets back on the other side and gets back on the plate to try to regain this lead and take it over. Counts 2-1 for the Rivera. This one was hanging upstairs and it stayed up there. This one's going to be fouled, goes behind the board. As you can see, we have some fans trying to keep the balls alive. As we have our very own Olivetown coach going down to go get it. Making his way down the hill as this one's going to get away, but now it's going to be a walk for Rivera. So it's a great way to start the inning to potentially get some insurance runs, showing great patience that time, Rivera. A great eye and great vision. So now here's Anthony Ricotes. He's also struggled today, 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out in his first AB and then flew out in the second. One went the other way. The other one went in, well, both balls went in separate directions. The ground out went to the left side, flew out, went to the right. Trying to steal it, sliding in there, and we'll see if he's going to be in time. And the umpire says he is going to be there in time, and sliding in there and wiping the dirt off his knee is Rivera. As you can see here, it's going to be a close call as the ball actually just got away from the second baseman in Crest, rather the shortstop. For a brief moment, like he got a glove under it, but if he would have had the glove on it, he probably could have tagged, but Rivera quickly put that head down to dive. Rivera on second in scoring position, as this one's going to be hit but chip foul down the left base line. As you can see, there's a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Wonder if we might get a pitching change for the heavy hitters as they're going to be entering the last inning after this AB. Feliciani looks back at Rivera. This one's going to be hit out to center field. Let's see if this one gets past the defenders, is able to drop in between the two. And here comes Rivera. Rivera might go all the way, but he's going to stop at third. And probably the smart decision as this ball was fielded quickly. And now it's going to be a stand-up double for Anthony Ricotes, but it's going to be runners on second and third. So now here comes the pitcher in Caden Mulheron. He got a single in his last AB. It was a great one that went right up the center field line. Here's the shortstop thrown over to first to record the first out. So Mulheron will go down after the walk and the hit by Anthony Coates, walk by Rivera. And now we're back at the top of the lineup with Sergio Draaz. One man away, swung on and missed, as this one was in the dirt, but still had Draaz swinging. Count is now 0-1. One man away with runners on second and third. Rivera on third after the walk, and Anthony Ricotes on second with the double, as this one's going to be called for a ball. Will be called for a strike. Count is now 0-2. This one gets away from the catcher and easily getting in there to extend the lead and giving some more run insurance to whoever will be pitching going into that final inning was Lou Rivera. And this one's going to go down as a wild pitch, the first one for Feliciani, which drives in a run. This one grounded, but goes foul towards the heavy hitter's dugout. This one swung on and missed and has him swinging out of it as Feliciani gets his first K of the afternoon, and hopefully it's not too late as the heavy hitters are trying to add even more run insurance. As Draaz goes down and now brings up Biddle. First K for Feliciani as well, with now 2 men away. Lead extended for the heavy hitters now 4-2. Trying to settle this one and go home with a W after losing a day ago in Lancaster. This one having to lean back for is Biddle. Biddle also having a solid day himself, showing great patience in his last AB. He had a walk and also had a RBI double to start off the day. So he's 1 for 1. This one hit out to the shortstop. Could this be it? The third and final out. And it will be over to Henry. And here comes Philly U with one last chance to take the lead and win this game. So with that being said, we go to now the bottom of the 7th. Some would say time to stretch. But in high school, this will be the final inning. So with that being said, we have one run come in, 1 hit, no errors, 1 error for the wild pitch, and 1 left on base. So one's all across the board. We'll be right back here on BFA Sports. Welcome back to BFA Sports as Johan Feliz now takes over the reins to finish out this game as he's looking to close this one out. As we're in the final inning for Philly U to try to take this lead and win this game. This one's going to be hit out to left field. Let's see if it gets past the left fielder's head, and it will, and it'll be at the wall. So this will be extra bases, be at single, and it's going to be a stand-up single. Rather, a stand-up double, pardon me, by Burkhead. So a great way to get this inning started when you already need some runs coming in. And on the fourth pitch for Feliz, pardon me. He allows a double, so now brings up Feliciani. Feliciani 0 for 2 on the day. Here in the bottom of the seventh. So Philly U with a stand-up double that goes to the left fielder, but just not able to locate it in Louis Rivera. Here we are now as this one swung on and missed, but did get a piece of the bat, but still caught by the catcher and Pizzenni. So count is now 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Feliciani. This one hangs and finds its way inside and has a man looking as he goes down, strikes. So Johan Feliz showing some fleece that time as this one was going outside but found its way inside and had his man looking. Didn't even give him a chance to swing. And now he's 2 outs away from getting the save. This one a little bit too high. Count is now 1-0. Facing the counter pitcher and Kaplan. Kaplan, who's also had a struggled day, but also showed some patience. He was struck out earlier in this game back in the third and walked in his last AB. Count is now 2-0 with a runner in scoring position on second. Feliz deals, and this one's a little bit too high as he's trying to get control and wants to put this ball a little bit lower than where he's been throwing it. So now count is 3-0. The 3-0 pitch. This one swung on and missed, and he's able to find the box. Got it a little bit lower than he wanted to now. So now the count is 3-1. 3-1 pitch. This one just gets away from him, high and upstairs. And now there are runners on first and second as Kaplan gets his second walk of the day. And some would say, since you're a pitcher, you kind of know what pitches are maybe coming, so you have a better chance to hit it. Some would say. Arguments. So now comes at the top of the line a hard swing on and miss by Hoffman, but this one gets away from him as runners advance now to second and third. So Kaplan goes to second and Burkhead to third. Now with the runners on second and third. So the road gets a little bit harder for Feliz to finish this job. This one hit and softly right in between him and the second baseman. One run comes in. Can the second one come in as they pull him back? As Feliz was thinking about throwing, but he's going to check that. But a run does come in, and Hoffman gets an RBI single and one run away from tying this ball game. And again, we talked about, since this is a tournament, a time tournament at that, about a minute. I keep saying a minute, an hour and 50 minutes. Games will be decided by, yes, runs batted in, but also by your ranking of each respective squad. rankings, I've been told, do not matter anymore. And a stolen base is taken by Hoffman after getting the RBI single. He now steals a base and goes to second. So then we may have it decided by a coin flip. I'm also being told no. Okay. So none of the rules apply as I was just mentioning. So once this game finishes, there is no other contingencies that would allow either team to win. So we're going to play this one out all the way as if it were a regular baseball game. This one gets away from Feliz, and now the bases are fully loaded as he's in a rough one now. He started off with runners in scoring position at second and third. Had one run come in off of a wild pitch, rather off of a hit from Hoffman off the RBI single. And now the bases are fully loaded. So now this brings up Lucas Mullen. And Feliz is in a jam. This one a little bit too high. And not the way you want to start this AB with this batter right here against Mullen. Mullen, who has been fairly struggling himself, is 0 for 3 on the day. You still don't want to give him any life and not give him an opportunity, as this one's going to find its way inside, as it had a lot of velocity and speed at the top, but was able to drop in. Count is 1-1 with one man away. Check swing. We'll say if he goes. They say no, so the count will be 2-1. Rather, they'll say 1-2. Count 1-2, one man away. Lucas Mullen 0 for 3 on the day after the walk by Soriano to have the bases fully loaded. This one's a ball. Now evens the count at 2-2. Four-three ball game. Heavy hitters have the lead 4-3 after the RBI single from Hoffman. This one gets away from Feliz as it's way too high. Curveball just wasn't able to drop in. And here it is. 3-2 pitch, one man away, and a ball away from possibly tying this game up. This one's inside and able to get the strikeout. So Feliz gets himself out of the jam. Man against the world. As you can see, he's having communication with his catcher and then just drills this one in the zone. Footing may have got away from him, but more importantly, he got the strikeout. But he's still in the jam, has to finish this one as the count starts now against Kress, shortstop Kress, who for himself, he's had a good day. He's 2 for 1 on the day, has a double and a single. Here he is now. Feliz able to find the striker zone to make this count 0-1 with 2 men away, but base is still fully loaded. The pressure on his shoulders. This one hit out to second base, is able to drop in, thrown over to first for the game. They're going to say he got it, and that'll be it. So looking at this replay, able to drop in for the heavy hitters. Second baseman to throw it over to Rodriguez is Draws. And with that, the game has been decided. It's been a long afternoon, but final score in this one, 4-3. Heavy hitters win this one in a nail-biter. Bases fully loaded, and Feliz gets the save. And with that, the 3-game tournament on this field has concluded, and that has been the final game. So a lot of good games today. This one is finally over. Heavy hitters win this one 4-3. Thank you for tuning in to BFA Sports with me, Lloyd Wilson. We'll see you next time.